Welcome to the Mailvalet training videos. In this video, we will continue with the training on the email selection list and selection list functions, which we started in a previous video. In the earlier video, we demonstrated the use of the email selection list and showed how to put the list in edit mode, make changes to it directly, and how to put the list in multi-select mode and delete a group of emails. In this video, we will demonstrate how to mark a group of multi-selected emails as either read or unread, and how to move a group of multi-selected emails from one folder to another within the same account. We will also demonstrate the use of the email list search capability and point out the enhancements made to Mailvalet's email list function since the previous videos were made. First, let's bring up the email list function pop-up by tapping on Mail List. If you compare this with the earlier videos, you'll notice that there have been a few enhancements to this which make it a little bit more useful. Looking down at one of the multi-select functions, mark selected emails, it used to just be possible to mark them as unread, but this now has two options where you can, once you've gone in multi-select mode and selected some emails, you can either use the unread or the read option and then tap on mark selected emails and either mark them read or unread. Another difference has to do with closing or hiding this dialog. If you remember, we've said before that the dialog cannot be closed by tapping outside of it because we need to use its search capability while we're performing other operations in the email selection list. So the only way to close this, or in this case really to hide it as one of the new functions, we would tap on close/hide this dialog, and the option for that, for this button that we tap on, can either be to close it or to hide it. Let's look at a folder that we have over here on the left, Sort and Color, that we used in earlier demos. Notice that we have 4 emails as its contents with prior color coding that we used in the earlier demos. And I'd like to show how we can put this, well, we can first search on part or all of a subject. I can type in, for example, here, Rule 1, wait for a couple of seconds for the query to run, and you'll notice that the selection list immediately changes so that the only emails that show up that are those that match the partial subject that we entered in our search criteria here. I can back this out to delete the 1 to say Rule, wait for the requery, move this down, and you'll notice that now we have 2 of the original 4 emails, one with a subject that contains Rule 1 matching subject, one that contains Rule 2. So we had a less specific search here which turned up more emails. I can clear the thing out entirely, as you see here, wait for the requery, bring that back up, and we are now back to the original 4 emails. What is useful with the hide function, let's say for instance I want to show just the emails that have Rule in the subject, so I'll go ahead and put that back in, wait for the query. And now what I'd like to do is look at the emails. I'll click on one of those, and you'll notice that the email list function pop-up is covering a lot of the email, which isn't really very handy. We would like to keep the search criteria so that we don't have all the emails show back up when we close this. So instead of closing, I'm going to leave the search criteria here, use the hide option, and tap on close/hide. You'll notice in this case that the pop-up shrunk down to a teeny dot that's up on the upper left-hand corner. That little dot just indicates that it's still there. You can get it back by tapping again on Mail List, and it comes right back with the previously entered selection criteria. So I'll go ahead and hide it again, and now the full email, I have unrestricted view of the full email. So you can trade around and put different search criteria, including all or part of the email address by itself or in combination with all or part of the subject, to narrow down the search that you're doing within the email selection list. When we're really finished with this, we can change to the close option, tap on that, and it really will go away, and also the search criteria is removed and you're back to the original full list of contents of all of your folders as you see in the demonstration here. Now let's get the email selection list pop up back again, tapping on Mail List. And I would like to demonstrate selecting a group of emails that have been read and marking them as unread, and then selecting them as a group again and marking them as read. Notice that in the Sort and Color folder we have 4 emails that have all been read. So I'd like to click on Multi-Select Emails, as you see here. And as we've mentioned before, when I do that, several of the multi-select functions are now available for use. I would like to select all 4 of these as a group, which have been read, and mark them as unread. Notice that in the marked selected emails, the unread option is already checked here, so that's fine. We're in multi-select mode, so now I'll just select all of the emails. You'll notice it tells you how many emails were selected. The option is set to mark selected emails as unread, and I'll tap on that. We'll get a confirmation that the operation was completed. I'll tap on OK, and you'll notice again now that the email list is back out of multi-select mode. The multi-select functions are grayed out again because they are not available while we're not in multi-select mode. And if we look at the emails, you'll notice looking at the icons that all 4 of the emails have been marked as unread again. So let's just do this again. We're going to change the option. We're going to first go into multi-select mode again, select our emails again, and now I'm going to change the option for marking selected emails to read. And then once that's done, I'll tap on the button. You'll get the confirmation that that was complete. I'll tap on OK. Notice again we're out of multi-select mode in the list, and the multi-select functions are disabled in the pop-up. And if you look at the emails, you notice that they're marked as read. Okay, next I would like to demonstrate selecting a group of emails from this same folder and moving them to the trash folder. So let's one more time go into multi-select mode. And I'm going to put in, I'd like to get the last 2 of these 4 emails rather than just the first 2. So I'm going to enter a subject of test. Let the query run, and you'll notice now that we just have 2 of the last 2 that we wanted to select. And I could individually select these, but I can select everything as a group by clicking on the folder that contains them. And it will select everything, all the contents that display in that folder. Note that we are only showing 2 of the 4 items in that folder because of our query subject being test. And then when we select, we will only select those 2 that are displayed. So we can exclude members of a group within a folder and then do multi-selection of the entire group that's left on display and then perform an operation on it. So I clicked once on Sort and Color folder and noticed that both of these emails that met the search criteria were selected. We have 2 of them selected. Now this time I would like to move them to move the selected emails to a folder. Note we're still in multi-select mode, and I'm going to click or tap on Move Selected Emails to Folder. When you do that, you'll notice that you get a new pop-up comes up that gives you a list of all the available folders within that account where you can send the emails that you're about to move. You cannot move emails from one account to another, but you can move them from any one folder to another folder within the same account. So, and before we do this, I should mention one other thing as well. Notice in this pop-up that we have some options that say like no routing rule, auto rule, and manual rule. And what this means is that as I'm moving emails, I can at the same time automatically create routing rules so that in the future, emails that have the same sender address as the ones we're moving can have a routing rule created for them that will match on that sender address and will send them to the folder in the future that we're selecting now for those that we're just moving now. In other words, if I move these to trash and create an automatic rule, future emails that come in the inbox that are from apptest.jgiles.yahoo.com will go automatically to the trash folder rather than any other folder because of the routing rules that we would be creating. We will get into that in more detail in a different video. So for now I'm going to leave it set to no routing rule, and we're simply going to move them to the trash folder. So to do the move, I'm going to select the trash folder within the Gmail account. As you see here, you'll get a confirmation that the operation was complete. So I'll tap on OK. Notice now that those two that we selected are in the trash folder. I can close it, reopen it, they're still there. I'll close it again. Now let's go back and open Sort and Color again. Notice that nothing shows up there. Let's clear our query here and let it requery. Let's see if we scroll that up. Notice that the other two of the original 4 emails are still there. The Rule 1 and Rule 2 matching subject emails are still there, and in the trash folder we have the 2 that had attachments that we had selected for the move. So that demonstrates the different multi-select emails. That completes the demonstration, where we originally started with deleting a group of selected emails, moving a group to a folder, and marking a group as selected or unselected, and also using search criteria to narrow down any group to smaller size, or to select either by subject or by email address. That concludes this training video.